Well, Jake, things are getting interesting here as we get into mid-October. You can tell we've changed the setup a little bit. He moved to the right, I to the left, and there's no political overtones to be taken from that. In fact, maybe people didn't even notice. Maybe they don't know that I'm Greg Silver and that's Jake Berry and that this is the show. But if you just joined us for the first time, you picked a nice time to come aboard because right now things are starting to mean something.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some big games coming up. We had some big games last week that actually meant something. Mm-hmm. And this is where the rubber meets the road.
We put up with non-district. We've had a pretty good time. At this point, we feel like we have a good gauge. The district races have all started now. We're talking about the 2As and 3As as well. And so for the next 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to find out what team wants to win it and what team wants to give it up.
Yeah, I mean, look, you look at some teams that have played fairly well, but they haven't been able to turn that, get over the hump. This is that part of the season that, you know what, you got to get everything right because you can't afford a loss.
October 17th, this will, we looked at it at the beginning of the season and said there's a ton of good games. We got a couple down in 32-6A. We got the Ed Caps Mercedes game. By the way, voted the top rivalry on one website I heard. 28% of the people picked that. Really? Over Donna Westlaco, over Harlingen San Benito, so that's interesting. Well, if you voted for them, then you'll be glad to go out to Mercedes and see that game. Let's start this week in 32-6A because there are two phenomenal games on tap. But before we talk about those games, we have to talk about the Battle of the Arroyo because the 85th installment was one of the best there's ever been.
Yeah, I mean, this one, Harlingen was up 21-3.
With 8 minutes to go,
yeah,
8.5, 8:50.
Pulled off a miracle.
Wow, man, what a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, good coaching, but, great plays on the field. I mean, Coach Gomez from Harlingen, man, he said that they weren't game planning for number 17.
Atkinson.
He hadn't caught anything, and he made some plays.
It wasn't Gaitan, it wasn't Medrano early in the game. It was when they needed. Atkinson came up big. The Cardinals made a couple of mistakes in the end, Jake, that I think really hurt their cause. They had the pick from Jesse Bailly to end the game in the fourth quarter, but they were called for interference on the play. The Greyhounds got another chance, and they punched it in. And, boy, what a big win at home. They were going bananas after that game. Let me tell you, I didn't have San Benito on the radar at the beginning of the season, nor did I have Christian Sieta, the quarterback, on our radar, although he was on our watch list. That guy's having a great season, man. You got to put him right up at the top of Valley quarterbacks playing well right now. Over 200 yards. He rushed for over 100. That guy's doing something, man.
Yeah, and the thing about San Benito is they played some really tough games, and they've won those games. I mean, they've Los Fresnos game.
17-14, that's right. No, not at all.
They played tough games, and it's not like they're playing a cupcake schedule. They play tough teams.
So now, after the Battle of the Arroyo, and it was not only a battle on the field, but the coaches were pretty hot under the collar afterward, weren't you?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't have a problem with this, because, look, coaches don't all like each other. I mean, there are coaches that when I coach, I don't like.
These personalities, right? Human beings, and some people you like, and some people you don't.
And there's chips, everybody has a chip on their shoulder.
About something.
Yeah, and, look, I do basketball, so everybody hates everybody, but they all have a really good faith.
You all agree that you hate the refs, though.
Yeah,
sorry.
And so, but what Coach Gomez did, I don't have a problem with that because he was expressing how he felt about another coach, about about the situation. It's water under the bridge after the game. I mean, that's it. It's nothing you can do about it until next year.
Well, it was interesting that you're talking about Manny Gomez of Harlingen. One of the reporters from another group asked him a question, and he got pretty peeved about that, didn't he?
Yeah, in the heat of the moment, a question like, "Does it hurt?" I don't know if that's
losing to San Benito in the Battle of the Arroyo, and it's a huge game for them to lose.
21-3.
That's right. Do you think it hurt? Did hitting you in your eye hurt?
Yeah. Look, I mean that's like hitting somebody with a car. I mean, it's that painful. It's a cheap shot that nobody should ever have to go through. I mean, look, you're trying to incite something when somebody is, pouring his emotions out. I mean, yeah. I'm very proud of Coach Gomez for not saying
cussing him out or kicking his tail.
I think you and I both have foul tongues sometimes. And
not at all. Don't let those middle fingers fool you. That was a mistake. That was somebody else last week.
But what he did, I give him props because I don't know if I would have been the bigger man there.
Well, I mean, to me, I guess the main thing from a journalistic standpoint is that it doesn't seem like much of a question.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not designed to gather information and tell people about the ball game, then what was it designed to do? You have your own fill in the blank on your ulterior motive. Nonetheless, it was a very heated exchange over there, and the game itself was crazy. You see those fans afterward? Nobody enjoys beating Harlingen more than San Benito. Now, where do the teams go from here? Harlingen has those Fresnos on the road. That's going to be tough, man.
Tough game. Look. this next couple games for Harlingen is
make or break, man.
The mother lode.
Yeah, make or break.
Yeah, if you've got to beat Los Fresnos. If you don't beat Los Fresnos, you've got to either beat Brownsville Vets or Harlingen South.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to play Harlingen South at the end of the year to make sure that you get into the playoffs.
That's right, because in the Bird Bowl, and strange things can happen, right? Just like EHS and North. We can talk about that later. So Los Fresnos, I've been pretty impressed with. You know, they did drop that game to San Benito. We're going to get to the Greyhounds more in a minute. So Los Fresnos comes into a Harlingen game, and I feel like Pierce Ruiz is another quarterback that's played very well. He, like Sierra, he had 200 yards passing, 100 yards rushing in their game last week. They put it on South pretty good. I think it was like something like 42-20. So they come in with a definite edge at quarterback because Bowie Davis got hurt again, and the Cardinals just can't seem to catch a break right now.
No, and I just think that. I'm waiting for that Harlingen team of old, the nitty gritty. Let's get down and dirty, and they just haven't been able to put it all together. 4 quarters worth.
Charlie Moreno, 24, is playing like the Harlingen teams of old. That guy is something, man. He's a fast kid off the edge. He always seems to be in the middle of the plays when you watch the games. Los Fresno's got his own defensive kids. I've been looking at their stats. Cage Taylor, who is this guy leading the team in tackles? He's a pretty good senior. Fabian Rodriguez is a junior that's had a lot of plays. And this Jonathan De Leon, I believe it is. This guy either a block punt or a block field goal. He returns things. Los Fresnos is playing like a champ or a playoff team because it's getting those special touchdowns.
Yeah, and Los Fresnos went through some tough games at the beginning of the year. They played Ed Couch, they played Edinburgh North, lost to Edinburgh North.
Crazy games.
So they played some tough games. They know how to.
They've been in the clutch. They've been in the groove, and then those close games. So
I think Los Fresnos. Do I think they have probably the advantage in this game? Yes. Do I think that means that they'll win? Not necessarily.
Well, we're going to see how much the Cardinals come out fired up because they would rather get anything have happen to them than lose to San Benito. I'm telling you, man, it is a dark week over there right now, and those kids are mad, and so are the fans. So they're going to definitely want to come out and win. Los Fresnos may be the object in the way. We're going to see. Now, the other game, and it's Saturday night. It's one of those Saturday night fights like Elton John used to sing about, right? Brownsville Veterans and San Benito, undefeated teams. The two teams, if you'd have told me them two teams would be leading the district, good gracious, I would have thought you were nuts. But they are.
San Benito's entering the game 3-0. Brownsville Vets at 2-0 in the district.
San Benito can punch their ticket.
Yeah.
Right here.
San Benito, all they have to do is win, and they're in.
4-0, and they 3 teams that they played last are not that great. They can win that district Saturday, possibly.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear me say that.
Yeah, but look, 4 wins, you're in. So they've got that. Now, Brownsville Vets is no pushover.
No.
Now, they gave up a ton of points to Hannah.
Yes, they did. Yeah, they did.
So, that's not something you want to do against San Benito because San Benito can score. They will score.
Yeah.
And they have a decent defense right now that's getting better every week.
They got great front 3 of San Benito. I'll tell you what, their coach is pretty tough, too, old Dan Gomez. See him with his shades on after the game, the goatee. He looks like a pro wrestler. We're going to put him in against Manny, and there will be no holds barred. What do you think of them apples? I didn't say that. I did say that. It'd be kind of fun, though.
We'll film it.
Let's have a coach's brawl off. You know what I mean? We can do that, man. Shoot, we'll establish some ground rules. We're getting in deep here. The other game in the district has Harlingen South. Now, we're talking about these teams that are at the top. Harlingen South not out of anything.
No, Harlingen South.
1-1.
Harlingen South needs this win, though. And Rivetta's that one team that nobody wants to play. They haven't won.
But they give everybody fits.
Yeah, and because they're a tough team to match up with. But South needs to win. If they win and you keep your
stay in, yeah, because 1 and 2. Because right now there are 4 teams ahead of them, or 4 teams that are playing pretty good football. But see, Harlingen's got that 3-game slog, man. Okay, they got San Benito, they got Brownsville Vets next. Vets is the one that I'm not saying that I don't believe in Vets, because you know me, man. I've been circling that posse all year. But they got to show it, man. They got to come out and play a great game against San Benito and then Harlingen too. If they get both, they're in great shape. They'll be like San Benito. They'll be at the top of the heap.
I think so.
What a good district.
Yeah, a better district than we thought at the beginning.
Absolutely. It's not just a couple of teams in Harlingen and then the Brownsvilles.
Yeah.
I think it's competitive, and the next 2 or 3 weeks are going to tell the tale. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully the coaches will keep their distance, right? All right. Let's take a break here in the show. We went out of order. Normally we start with 30-31. When we come back, we're going to go back to 30 and 31 and do things the right way.